This is Dan's Models, another terrific edition of Dan's Models. And I gotta say, this is cool. First off, this is John, and I'm sitting here with Dan. And the first thing is you have one of my favorite logos, the Feather River Route Western Pacific logo.
Yeah.
You also have one of my favorite types of locomotives here, which is the F unit.
This is there's a FP7, which is the 805A in the lead, and that was actually one of the engines we did on the HO Weathering and Detailing video.
Yes, I remember that.
So I did some detailing and installed sound and redid the lights in that engine, and I can talk a little bit about that. It had a lot of detail already, but I did change a few things. These are all HO scale Athearn Genesis models, by the way. But in addition to that, behind it we have the 802C, which is an F3B, and behind that we have the 804B, which is an F7B. So this is pretty typical of the type of consist that they would have used in the California Zephyr. A lot of times they ran with the ABB set like this. So, and I actually have a set of the Broadway Limited California Zephyr cars.
Right, we used those for the run-by, didn't we?
Yeah, we did run-by shots at the train club down in Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually the first and actually only time I've ever had the whole train put together. And I thought that was pretty neat, running it around.
It was really neat. I remember that was... it seems almost kind of weird to me that Amtrak or somebody wouldn't find a way to recreate that and just run it a couple times a year. They could probably make so much money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Off people who would like to ride the original Zephyr, from Emeryville to Chicago or whatever. Are the F units that... I know they're old,
Well,
they're probably
this one
not,
still exists. The 805A is up in Portola,
right? And it runs.
I think it runs.
I'm pretty. Didn't you drive that one?
No, I drove the 921D, which is a freight engine.
Oh, and is the 918 the one up in Niles a freight engine too?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because they don't run. I don't know, but it would be so cool just to see this thing out on the tracks. Running a. Can you imagine the crowds it would attract just to photograph it?
Yeah,
that would be amazing. So if anyone's listening who's independently very wealthy,
yeah, you can.
There's a pipe dream for you.
Yeah. That would probably take someone with, a
few
like
billion dollars,
Bill Gates money to do that. But those of us. The rest of us, we can have HO scale models.
Yeah, right. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
I love this, though.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing thing to look at. I could just sit here and look at this for the next 10 minutes. But let's get to some details.
Yeah. One of the things I did with this engine, well, originally it had bulbs in it.
Right.
And I took the bulbs out and replaced all the lights with LEDs.
Right.
And when I did that, the headlight, which is the one that's the lower one that's in the nose door, I actually changed to a dual beam because that's the way the one in Portola is. So instead of being just a single light source with a reflector, it's a double light. So anyway, this is what the headlight looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely dual beam.
Yeah, and that's with a LED from behind. And then I have the oscillating light.
Oh, this is so cool.
And the stock model does not have these operable, but I made the class lights work.
Yep, there they are.
And also the number boards.
That's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing that's not lighting up is something in the cab.
Yeah, I didn't put a cab light.
Yeah.
But I also recessed the number boards, which I talked about in the video, because a lot of the F7s that I've seen, the number boards are kind of like a shadow box.
Yeah.
There's on the front they have just a plain piece of glass, and then the actual numbers are a few inches inside that box.
Right.
So I actually did that on this model.
Yeah, that's something that's covered in Weathering and Detailing Diesel Locomotives Volume 4.
Yeah.
And this is something that you can get on our website. Again, we don't do this to plug the videos, but I think it's important to mention that you can see how this stuff, because just looking at it, you're like, wow, that is so cool. But if I were watching this and didn't see the video, I'd want to know how you did that.
Right. And we cover that in the video. I show step by step how I did all the lights.
Yeah.
As that was the major modification to this engine was lighting. It already had a lot of the small details on the outside. So I didn't do too much there, but did do quite a bit with the lighting and sound. So I did a little detailing to the trucks on this model. I added brake lines, and I also changed the journal on the second axle from the front.
Yeah, it does look different. So
yeah, just little things like that.
It looks like you did a little bit of dusting with your airbrush on the bottom, too.
I did, yeah. These are... I wanted them to look like in-service engines. So, even though they're passenger equipment, I would have been kept fairly clean. They are going to accumulate some road dust as they're going down the track. So that's what I was trying to simulate. So it's basically just some thinned earth color paint that I airbrushed on the lower surfaces. And did a little powder and that kind of stuff on there too, which is all covered on the video. Okay, so the A unit has a look sound select decoder in it. The B unit doesn't have sound, but it has just a look pilot decoder, which is the non-sound version of the look sound. And then the other B unit has, I believe, a look sound 3.5 in it. So an older look sound, but still a good decoder. So it does have sound. So I've got 2 with sound and 1 without.
Wow, what a treat.
Yeah, well, I figured for the last Dan's models of the year, I should do something a little special. So
yeah, that's just great. I want to see these things run again on the layout, the big layout.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for, as much as I hate to end it, Dan. That'll do it for this week's edition of Dan's Models, and we'll be back. Hey, we'll see you next year.
Yeah, see you next year.